What is good, everyone? Thanks for tuning in to M.F.M.F's Heavy Hitter segment. This is episode 21 now. Fuck. This week's award goes to the boy Guerro. He's making consistent heat ranging from stompy rhythm to impactful dubstep and even some D&B on the newest track.
A little bit.
Not to mention, if you go back far enough, find some trap in there.
Don't do it. Don't scroll too far.
So we got some other achievements got a track on festival season as well as a few songs on Subsidia.
Yep.
One with Rovlo and one with Milky, both just like way different like styles and everything.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. Super diverse. Like,
oh, I fucking loved it.
Appreciate that.
Oh, of course. Speaking of, actually, through an event is the first M.F.M.V event back in Cali, and I actually dropped pounds, and I just remember the whole crowd just, oh, what the fuck, and like lost it. It was a great time.
You know, it's fun seeing that track like being dropped live because it's like 120 BPM, you know.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I usually don't really like 120 BPM for shit like that because it's kind of hard to dance to. But at the same time, like whenever I do see it be played out live, it's like I don't know,
high energy.
It does the job. Like
oh yeah. So starting off with those good basics. What's your name? Where are you from? And then why'd you choose your stage name?
So my real name is Guido Taal. I'm from the Netherlands, and I live in like a 100K town city all the way up in the north. It's called Leeuwarden. I doubt anyone has ever heard of it. It's like I said, it's like 100,000 people. It's small as fuck. How did I choose my stage name though? I think my friends just always call me Guerro, I believe, because I don't know. There's one character in a video game I know in Uncharted. The guy is named like Guerro, but I don't even think it is that. I think it's just like my friends just randomly started calling me that, and I just stuck with it. I think I had some shitty names before that, but like I came back to this one, and I think it works best for me. So,
oh yeah. So I was definitely pronouncing it wrong then. It's just Guerro.
I mean, Guerro. Yeah, it's Guerro.
Okay. Yeah. We gotta love those early shitty names we choose. I think like one of my first ones was just Earth, but like capital ART.
Yeah.
Like Earth and
SEO loves it as well, you know. You'll type Earth on Google and like your shit pops up first.
Oh yeah, that's hilarious. So speaking of your location, do you like it there in terms of the community and the crowd and venues?
Well, that's the thing with like a lot of European countries, and especially in like the Netherlands, because there's not really a scene. There's like listeners from here, obviously, but we don't really have big festivals or like regular shows. You got shit like Rampage and stuff in Belgium, which is like is big, but there's so many international artists, a lot of drum and bass. Like dubstep isn't really popping here, sadly. We used to have like a couple shows around Amsterdam Dance Event and shit. You got like the Monster Cat shows, and a couple smaller ones. Yeah, like Nitty Gritty and his friends played one, I think, like 2 years ago. But ever since COVID, we hadn't had that either. So it's kind of like it's pretty weak out here, sadly. And it's starting to get a little bit bigger in like France has a couple shows, and I think Hungary has a couple shows. It's like I don't know if you saw it, but there's like in Paris there's like a Jacqui, a High Ghost, and a Nazar show soon.
I think
but it's really I'd say like a handful a year that are like good shows and are worth to go to. It's not like America where they show like every weekend all over the country. It's like, I chose the wrong type of music like to make where I live. So.
Yeah, that sounds rough. Yeah, I've always been like Seattle, which was decently, has a good scene there for that. Cali, of course, and then even here, like just outside Denver, a lot of people. So what would be your ideal location then that you would want to post stuff at?
I mean, somewhere in the US, like either like the US or Canada, I think because like 80+% of my audience on like Instagram and Spotify is all from the US, so like demographically it makes sense to go there. But like I wouldn't really know where in the US, because like I went 2 weeks ago, I only went to LA. I don't think I could live in LA, like that might be a bit too much for me, but like somewhere in the US that would just make it easier to like start doing shows, start hanging out with people.
Yeah.
It's hard in Europe, but at the same time, I guess it comes with its benefits, but it's definitely hard. 100%.
Damn, yeah. And then especially if is there like at least like a little venue or something there that has like local DJs or something? Or is it
Local, not at all. I mean, my country is super small, so like I live all the way up north. If I drive for like an hour and a half, I'm in Amsterdam. So like
okay.
it's smaller than most American states, but even there, like not really, because I think 3 years ago there was a Keizo show,
Oh wow.
and it was like this one like pop stage or like pop like venue, I guess, where they usually put all the EDM artists. And he got moved from like the biggest room to the second smallest room, and I think like an hour before the show, they moved him to the smallest room, and I walk in there, it's maybe like 100 kids or something. And it's weird because 2 months later, you'll see him like performing main stage Lollapalooza in front of thousands. Like
Huge.
whenever you see artists like that do like Europe shows, it's 4 or 5 shows, and it's always for like a smaller crowd. So
Interesting. Huh. That's weird.
it's really concentrated in America, and I mean obviously Asia has its own scene. Shit like China. I know there's like a little bit of a scene in Korea and Japan, but
Mm-hmm.
most of it is definitely in the US, 100%.
Okay, interesting. Do you ever think one day specifically more like dubstep and stuff will be more global and more in places
Mm,
like that, or you think it's gonna always kind of be pretty much where it's at?
Because like I said, like there are a couple shows happening now with like bigger artists. Now you got the I Am Ghost Decree and Azar, which are like pretty like bigger names, in the scene. So you're starting to see like a bit more or a bit more shows around here with names like that. First is like random dubstep shows with like small kids that no one has ever heard of, which is still cool, 100%. But like
Yeah,
the bigger names don't really like come and perform here. Maybe it's been bad because of COVID, because like shit has been closed for the last 2 years,
true.
unlike in the US where shit pretty much stayed open. Um, like it's been kind of like on the down low with all the events. Shit like Boots House in Germany is where they would have dubstep shows, and I think it recently opened up again. But like for now,
It's pretty
nothing,
dead.
nothing on schedule at least that I know.
Damn, that's a little unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear about that.
It is what it is.
um, so about what age did you discover EDM, or I guess more specifically like dubstep?
Like 20, 2010. I think like quite early. Like I was a big Call of Duty guy back then, so all the Call of Duty, like the Call of Duty 4 montages and shit. That's like the first time I heard dubstep.
Yeah.
So I think like around that time, um, my friends would show me Skrillex, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? This is insane. So probably like around that time. I think yeah.
Okay.
So like what, 11, 12 years ago now?
Something like it. Yeah. Damn. Yeah, I remember there's that one, I think it's Black Ops 2. They had that one mission where you're like going through like a nightclub. And it's got like some old school dubstep going. I just remember playing it, just be like, oh, this is kind of sick.
What the fuck is this music, huh?
Oh,
Nah, it's fun though. It's niche, but like I don't know. At that time, it was so new and like so innovative that I don't know. I just got intrigued by it, I guess.
yeah. So how long after from when you discovered it did you start like producing and DJing and all that?
I'd say I've been producing for like 6 or 7 years, and dubstep only really for like the last three and a half maybe.
Wow.
Because I remember like my first real dubstep song was Bloodlust, was some point in 2019. And I
Yeah.
think I tried to make dubstep before that, but like I just sucked at it and I had no clue how to make it. So I was just like I was making shit like Melbourne Bounce or like house music back then.
Yeah. I think there still is one house song left that I was able
Yeah,
to
no
find
kidding.
up there.
Yeah, that's like the only house song that I ever released on this thing. Yeah, I feel at that point I just wasn't sure like whether I should keep it on this shit or keep it on like a separate account. I just decided to like throw it all on one account and see what happens. But there's some shit out there. Like I said, I'm not gonna say no names, but there's no shit out there which is like how Melbourne bounce of that can't see the light of day anymore.
Oh, we love it. That's amazing. I wonder how much shit out there people just randomly find from like a random artist, and there's like, wow, I wonder who that is, and it's like low key someone they like actually know or something.
Mm-hmm.
No,
100%. Like, that's fun. It's funny whenever that happens. Like shit I used to listen to 10, 12 years ago, and like only recently figure out that it's like an artist that's still around but under like a bigger name, shit like that. Like it's funny to see like the progression, I guess.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to happen to me. Like the music I made back then was bad. I still think it's bad. So we're not gonna see that again.
You're like, nope, that's gone. We're gonna bury that.
Yep.
So speaking of kind of progression, how has your journey through music influenced you into where your current production state is now?
I don't know. Like I said, I've made dubstep for like 3.5 years. At the beginning, I just sucked it, and like, I think I just got better by like listening to a lot of music, like figuring out new techniques and shit, trying to keep up with time. Like I'm not necessarily trying to like push this sound in a really innovative way, maybe, which is something I'd like to do in the future. But like for now, I'm just like trying to keep up with like have my shit sound modern, have my shit sound good, so that they can be put out in a time like this. I don't want my shit to sound like 2016, 2017 dubstep. So like, you know.
Oh yeah.
I guess in that way, like just really, I don't know, just try to be modern with it.
I'm super bold, but I think is like Nine's Echoes, just like gnarly, how kind of like whippy it is. It's super stompy, and I love that.
Well, you shit like that. That's what I said, because like a lot of my music, I'm kind of trying to bridge like dubstep and rhythm in some sort, because I'm not the biggest rhythm fan myself.
Mm-hmm.
But like I can still appreciate like 4/4 shit, you know. If it's just heavy, it's just thumpy. Like not every song has to be like a super unique track, like, you know, like a hit song, I guess, in whatever you can qualify a hit song in dubstep. But just something heavy, you know, something that works well. Like I'm not just always trying to be innovative and try out new shit. I do every now and then, and if it works, it works. Like Hound, like it's not innovative, but it's unusual, let's say, in what you'd hear in modern day dubstep. So it works, but
definitely
I'm still like just about like heavy shit.
Fuck yeah.
Borderline Terra, you know, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, no, we love all the heavy shit here.
Oh yeah,
100%. So if you had a side project, what genre would it be? Sounds like you're kind of brushing up on that a little bit back there.
Let's just throw it back to Melbourne Bounce, man. Like,
have you ever thought of like, if you haven't already, doing like a full side project but not connecting it
to
you?
Not really. Like there's only so many hours in a day. Like I generally don't understand how some people can like dedicate so much time towards like multiple projects, because like I'm already so deep in my own shit. Also shit I like do on the side, like I do graphic design and all this shit for myself as well. So it's like it's like a big time slot in my day. But like I don't think I could dedicate myself to a complete like side project. Never.
Yeah, that's
Especially in like dubstep and shit, you know, because it's so time consuming. There's so many hours that go into a track. Versus like, you know, I don't know, if you make like techno, it could be a little bit easier. I'm not saying every techno song is super simple and like easy to make, but I don't know a lot of people that put like 40 to 50 hours into a techno song. So
exactly. Like, yeah, dubstep just has so many layers and like different drum patterns and constantly like switching everything up. Or I feel like techno is a little more simplified and
I mean, it's just that it's more of a
straightforward.
vibe, you know, like
Yeah,
You just kind
I
of like
definitely
go
love
for
it.
whatever works in the moment. You're not gonna put in 50 hours in like in a techno drop. Like I don't believe that. So if you make music like that, I can understand why you have side projects, but like I don't know, I couldn't do that.
Oh yeah, that's understandable. Um, ooh, this is my favorite one. So, what is the craziest thing you ever witnessed at a show, either like on stage or in the crowd, just at any moment at a show or festival where you're just like witness some insane shit happen?
Mm, I mean, it probably has to do something with drugs. Like there's not one story that really pops up in my head as like, oh, that would be the craziest one. But I think just like you're just seeing completely fucked up people try and get behind the booth, try and fucking mash buttons,
Oh
climb
no.
stage. Oh fuck,
Ooh.
my bad.
You're good.
We back. I've seen I've
Um,
seen I've seen a guy like inside one of those big festival tents climb up in a pool and start like, Spider-Maning, but
that's crazy.
I mean nothing crazy.
Yeah, that's funny you mentioned that. I was just talking with my buddy before this, and it's like talk about this video I saw where this guy, super probably was fucked up, was like standing on stage, like on the table that they're like, mixing on, and security's like trying to pull him down and grabbing him by his legs, and he just looks over, grabs the CDJ, just like rips it down with him, and
Yep.
like, uh, we were making the joke though, when the
Not to
song's
be
so good,
Florida.
you have to get that ID. You just grab it.
I
What
mean,
is it?
I've heard stories like that though, like unironically, people who trying to like rip USBs and shit. I guess like I haven't seen it myself, but I know like people who had it happen. Like that's
Oh
fucked up.
no, that's so fucked up. I don't even know how to react. I definitely try and chase him down. But there's only so much you can do if it's a huge crowd.
Like
That's
Fancy
insane
said,
to even think about.
there's some wild people out there.
Wow, people. Actually, the guy, I was just at Hard Summer, and there's a dude who ran on stage and like gave Riot 10 a hug when he was playing, and was kind of sitting there for a while. And Riot 10 was like, look around, he's like, who the fuck is this guy? And, like security came and grabbed him. He like hopped on the mic. And he's like, I'm sorry, guys, I have no idea who that was, but he's just like up there with his arm around him, just getting it. And,
something similar happened because I saw Riot Town last week in exchange. Something similar happened there. Like maybe that qualifies as the craziest thing. But I guess it just happens more often at that point.
Oh, that's funny. I love it. So do you see yourself being in the music industry in some way for life? Like even if it's like hosting events or doing like a record label or something?
Ideally, yeah. Like I finished college last November, so I'm trying to look for jobs, preferably in the music scene. But like even outside that, like I'm already active in it. Like we have our own little like company. We throw like house and techno events around town.
Nice.
Or like around the north of the country, pretty much. I mean, ideally, yeah, I think it'd work in the music industry, but I wouldn't mind like doing something either. Like I graduated for communication and multimedia design, so it's super broad. I'm like, I learned how to advertise. I learned how to like create campaigns, shit like that. Shit that could be used for music industry, but like also for so many other things. But
yeah,
ideally, yeah. And I think like as much as dubstep isn't the thing here, music in general is, especially EDM in the Netherlands, because it is big. So there's definitely opportunities out there to like do something in the music industry, for sure.
nice. I love just how versatile so many things could be tied back to music like that, where you could get a degree in something like that and it could really help your like music branding and shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
I mean, like think about it. Like even with accounting or something, you could like specialize about like accounting in the music business, shit like that. It's big, and there's opportunities. So
nice.
Hope I can land one.
Yeah. So speaking of being in the Netherlands, is hardstyle super big there?
Yeah.
Hardstyle. What's your composition on hardstyle? Do you like it?
So I never really liked it as a kid. I could like I can maybe appreciate like emotional hardstyle a little bit, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, like euphoric hardstyle, you know, the melody and shit. I could appreciate that, like production wise. I never really understood like I don't even know like the right term is like a hardstyle, you know, like a raw or like
Yeah.
industrial shit. Now that I make dubstep a little bit more, like I'll try and kind of like incorporate like hardstyle sounds in my shit. But I'm not a big hardstyle fan myself. So, but the scene
Uh,
here is big. You got your shit like Q Dance, you know, which is like I don't know if it's the biggest hardstyle festival in the world. It might be. I know it attracts people from all over the world, but I'm not a big hardstyle guy myself now. I kind of like because hardstyle is big here, trance is big here, so I kind of grew up on trance and pop, I guess. And I
yeah.
kind of I always just distanced myself a little bit from hardstyle. I never understood it. Just like 4/4. You know? Even though I make like 4/4 dubstep right now, it's like I don't know. I just never saw the appeal to it.
So I mean, is it what's his name? Angerfist, also from the Netherlands?
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
I
I mean, guys like that are legends though, because like they've been around for like as long as I can remember, you know,
oh
and they're
yeah.
still playing shows. So it's
Yeah.
I can appreciate that. Like I can appreciate like the artist side. You know,
Oh
100%.
yeah. That's just crazy though. I remember I
Yeah.
think it's EDC 2018 I went and Angerfist was playing at the Wasteland stage and I like popped over to see it and it was so fucking brutal, dude. It's just
I
the
mean, hardstyle is pretty
crowd.
big in. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, you're good. I was just saying the crowd
Oh,
was just crazy and shit. And
it's something else. Like, isn't there like a pretty decent like hard dance hardstyle scene in Denver though?
um, there's definitely a
Or it
lot
might be
more.
another state.
Uh, I know Washington likes a lot of like happy hardcore stuff like that. I unfortunately mainly here in Colorado only played like kind of college house parties and like frat parties, so it's pretty much just house. I
Yeah. So,
try sneaking a little dubstep here or there. Depends on the party. They'd vibe with it for a little bit, and then someone would come up and be like, hey, you should switch it
what the
back.
fuck is
Just
this?
like, all right, whatever. Sorry.
The classic.
Um, but yeah, no, that's it. It's just funny with hardstyle because it's like either someone just loves it and they're just like, oh, dude, this is my shit, or there's like, not too sure about it.
I mean, that's probably the same for dubstep. You know, like I've never
Mhm.
met people who are kind of like, oh yeah, I kind of like dubstep. Like they either love it or they completely hate it, which I understand. But
Yeah.
it's like there's nothing really in the middle. I mean,
Uh,
that's kind of where pop music fits in. You know, everyone kind of likes it and it always works. But the shit is so niche that it's like you either love it or you hate it. 100%.
yeah, I definitely feel that. Uh, so how do you approach production, like in the sense of time management? Like, do you have a strict schedule you go by for when and how long you produce, or is it just more you kind of flow with it and whenever you just kind of feel like hopping on?
Yeah, like the way I usually work is I'll have like I can't sit down for like 10 hours a day and nonstop make music. Like that would just burn me out.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like have like creative bursts where some days I'll just write down like um, I don't know, like 10 ideas
Damn.
and kind of flesh them out like as much as possible, as much as I can. And then like for other days where I might not feel as creative, I can kind of go back to the project and start doing more like technical shit. Um, just so like whenever I'm not feeling creative, I at least have something to work on, you know. It's not
Mm-hmm.
like I'm completely lost and have no idea what to write, nothing to do. Like it's kind of
That's
like I just shit out a lot of ideas and then see what works, you know, kind of go with it.
yeah. See what sticks. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I definitely heard yeah, it's good techniques of just if you're not feeling necessarily creative, still just like, you know, go add some shit in a sample pack or go see if you
Yeah,
can.
like at least do something, you know, like there's always something you could do. Like
Oh yeah.
obviously there are days where you sit down and you just don't feel like doing anything. Like don't force yourself to doing it because you probably start hating what you do. But like there's always something to do. Like I said, like I do graphic design shit on the side as well, so I can always like make cover arts for myself, make visuals for myself, all that shit. Like, there's always something to
Nice.
do. If it's not music, there's so many things to it that you can kind of do. So I don't
Yeah,
really get bored with it. Like,
nice. Um, so around, I guess, kind of average, if you had to guess, around what's like an average, however many hours a day, like 2 to 3, or
um, no, probably like 6 or 7, and maybe on a good day, like it'll come closer to 10 if I like really have to
damn,
finish it or I'm like really feeling it. But like
yeah,
most of the time, it's probably like yeah,
six,
5, 6, or 7 hours. Like
damn,
I don't know, don't want to do it too much. Like still got to take care of my own shit, you know.
exactly.
I've been there, but it like that shit just burns me out. So, and I think also what a big thing is, like when you start producing, obviously you want to put in like 10 hours, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But like after you've been producing for a couple of years, I feel like in 2 hours you could do the same shit that you used to be doing in like 8 hours or something. You know,
Yeah.
maybe not like that extreme, but like you'll do it faster and more efficient. So like you
Oh
could get
yeah.
away with doing a little bit like a little less hours during the day. I think.
Nice. Yeah, I definitely yeah, being someone who's still kind of pretty new to producing and all that, definitely feel that where there's only so much you can do before you kind of
Yeah.
start struggling. And then at
Mhm.
that point, you're learning a lot, but then it's for me at least it's kind of annoying because I'll have like a sound in my head, but I won't know how to translate it. And then it's just kind of like a little bit annoying. And it's like, fuck, I gotta grind through it. But then it's just like, not feel like my creativity drops down when
Mhm.
it feels more like work like that.
It's double edged, and like you kind of have to learn how to balance it. I think because like I've been there 100%. Like I've had days where I would look up like when I started making music, I look up tutorials all day for like 12 hours, you know, shit
Oh
like that.
yeah.
It's not gonna make you better, but at least you're gonna learn like something, obviously. But it's hard to balance it 100%. You'll get better at it like the more you do it as anything in your life, really, but it's tough.
Oh yeah. That's funny. I remember recently I was watching one of those like tutorials on like how to do something in Serum, and I got like nowhere near what it's supposed to come out as. But I like had it tweaked with it a little more and got something way different, but I was like still hyped about it. And I was like, okay, cool, this fucking works. But I went
Yeah,
from
shit like
so
that. Like,
close to just being like, I'm just gonna trash this, fuck it. And then I just tweaked it a little bit. I was like, oh, this is
I
awesome.
mean, but that's the same thing like you said before, though. Like if you ever burn out creatively, like just like do shit like that. Like go watch people's videos. Like it's 2022, everything is on YouTube. Like you don't
Oh,
need anything else besides that. Like there's so much shit to learn. So many good like YouTube producers out there. So it's always something you could do.
oh yeah, new styles to
Yeah.
see new plugins that can do all new crazy
Mhm.
shit. Let's see. What has been your hardest track to make, kind of speaking of?
Um, Probably an unreleased one right now that took like I think there's like 12 different final versions, and then there's like label notes to it. So, but yeah, I can't really talk about it because we're trying to get assigned to the specific label. But yeah, that has to be the toughest. Like,
Okay.
I don't really like do that usually. I'll end up with like maybe like 2 or 3 different versions, but like not 12. Too much.
Yeah. That's crazy. Damn.
It's horrible. Like at some point, you almost don't want to release it anymore. Like after so many notes, like is it still like a good track? Like will it still do good? You know,
Yeah.
only one way to
There's
find out. So
that whole problem of like when you're working on shit and you just hear the repetition of it so many times where it becomes not good. And it's
yeah, no,
still
yeah,
good, but it's just you get like tired of hearing it. So especially if
Mhm.
there's that many final drafts, I could imagine that'd be
It's pain.
hours in it.
I mean,
uh,
and then like all the politics in music involved as well. You know, like labels take so many fucking days to reply. This
mhm.
person has to check in with their manager. Blah 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 blah. Like I don't have a manager right now, so for me it's kind of like I just do what I want to do pretty much as possible. Like of course, like I need label releases. Um, it's just something you like. I personally think you do. Um, just like have a couple label releases under your belt. But I try to do as much of my shit independent, so I don't have to deal with any of that stuff. Like I make what I want, I release it when I want, I like I have the cover art look how I want, my visuals look how I want, you know.
Exactly.
But sometimes you gotta like in the end it's probably worth it, but like trying to get it signed and all that shit, it can be painful.
Damn. And so like now that you've had time to grow and develop as an artist, is there anything you would change about your music career so far? If you could like go back in time, is there anything you would do differently or?
I think for me the biggest thing is I should have just started releasing shit when I started making music. You can always delete it later, but like even when I was in this stuff for like the first 2-3 months, like you'd finish tracks, you just never put them out, which is kind of a shame, I guess. Because like I said, you can always delete them later. And at the end of the day, like if you're still like a popping artist, all the old and bad shit will move to like the bottom of your shit anyway. It's like all the way down on SoundCloud, all the way down on Spotify. Like it won't pop up in playlists and shit anyway. So I kind of like regret not like just pushing out all my shit and just sitting on it and then never releasing it because I thought it was like, I thought it wasn't good enough, you know. That's the biggest regret probably.
Wow, that's interesting to hear because I've like put mixes out on SoundCloud, but I haven't put anything I produced. And I have like about a good 2 or 3 songs that I'd feel comfortable with producing, but or releasing. But kind of like he says, that kind of like, oh, I don't think it's good enough. I'm just gonna wait. And so that's interesting to hear that kind of did the same thing, and that's something you said you would take back if you could.
Well, that's like also the like the reason why I have such like a small amount of tracks released right now under this name, because I never put out shit. I just started producing, like I started to learn it. And by the second that I really felt confident in like releasing my stuff, I would. Or by the time that like my friends like would tell me that I should, you know, stuff like that. That's the moment when I started releasing stuff. Because if you go down on like Guerro shit, it's probably I think 2018 is like the first year that I released stuff. Even though I've been producing for like 6 to 7 years, you know. So what have I been doing for like the first 3 to 4 years? I still make music. I just never put it out there. Like, kind of a shame. Like you can already use the music to like build up a following, you know. And even if it isn't like the music, even if the music isn't the way you want it to sound, like at this moment, like who cares, you know?
Yeah, it's just I mean, also just getting your name out there. That one song did manage to get a good amount of traction. You know, that's just getting your name out there
not
too.
even that, you know, not even like a big success, but like just a little bit of like consistency and a little bit of like traction, you know.
Yeah,
It doesn't have to pop off. It's like it's probably not gonna be like the next single or the hit single, you know, but
oh yeah,
you never know.
Yeah. So I guess kind of on the topic of going back in time, is there any like production tips or tricks you would give yourself or techniques you would wish you kind of learned earlier?
I kind of wish I relied less on them when I started. I wish I just like started making music and just like do more trial and error instead of like trying to look up how to make the perfect sound, how to make like the perfect mix and all that stuff. Just like technical shit like that, you can always learn, you know. Everyone can learn how to mix. Everyone can learn how to make like crazy sounds. I think like like I said, just be more creative. Just try whatever. If you're ever gonna need a tutorial, look it up. Like if you don't know, let's say you don't know how to sidechain, look up how to sidechain. If you don't know, I don't know. If you don't know how to make like a dubstep bass, look it up. But just be more creative. Just trial and error. Okay. Throw shit at a wall and see what happens, you know.
Nice. Yeah. I definitely I try to aim the questions to be also for like fan base and wanting to be able to, I guess, get to know you more on like a personal level, but I also try to put in there, you know, good questions for producers just starting out, such as myself and all that. And I feel like these answers have been just fucking awesome with some of this stuff
I hope
have
it's of
been
use to
said.
someone, you know, like.
Oh yeah. Um. So last question. Um. At what point will you be content with your career if you're not already?
Skrillex plays my shit up. Nah,
Fuck
I don't
yes.
know. I think
Fuck
for me, like as cheesy as it sounds, I just think it's already sick that like you can make something from scratch, from nothing. You know, you open up like an empty doll, you make something, and even if you could like make one person happy with it, like as cheesy as it sounds, that's literally what it is. That's why all of us make music. Because if we didn't love it, we wouldn't do it. There's
Exactly.
money to be made, obviously, if you're at the top, but it's like it's feast or famine anyway. So the people who do it like do it because they love to make music. So I don't know. If I can do that, then I'm happy with it. Like if I can turn this shit into a full-time thing, I tried, you know. I never like that's just how I look at life in general. Like if I can make it, it's whatever. I'm just not like I'm not gonna hurt a person. I'm not gonna, misuse connections or whatever to like put myself ahead, shit like that. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, like, I tried and I tried it and I I think so.
Nice. That was a nice wholesome reply. Like,
Philosophical reply.
love it. Yeah, that's just feel like that's what makes good music is just like the energy or feeling you get from it. Even like no matter what emotion it is, if it's like anger or if it's like sadness or
Yeah.
happiness, just anything that makes you feel something strongly is just like that's what makes any art good. And yeah, no, that's definitely just a just an awesome track to go down and morals to live by. Love
Yeah, I
it.
mean that's the biggest thing, like I'm not trying to be the next like superstar GJ. Like I'm just trying to do my own shit, and if people like join along with the ride, I fuck with it. I'm down 100%, like I'll do anything for it. But
Yeah, no, I feel that. I feel like that's also gonna help push it, a lot further is that not that like intense need to be the top and all that. Cause I
yeah,
just
no.
it's I feel like that's very visible to people and all
Oh yeah,
that.
100%.
And it's
It's
just
something I oh sorry, go ahead.
oh no, you're good. It's just yeah, it's just very visible for people to see that. And I feel like that just sever a lot of connections.
Yeah, no, 100%. You see the shit on Twitter all the time, like people like demanding, yeah, basically like demanding more interaction, more engagement. Like no one owes you a thing. I don't get it.
Oh yeah. If it's, that is just sad too that people want, you know, you shouldn't have to ask people for it. Like I wouldn't even want if I had to ask someone to like my music, I wouldn't even want them to because then it's like, what's the point? They're only
Yeah,
there because you
exactly.
asked them to. I'd rather have people who chose to be there show up there on their own.
Shit like that isn't gonna bring you anywhere. So I just try to like distance myself from that. Like,
Oh yeah. Fuck yeah. This has been an amazing episode. Thank you again for your time and for doing this. It's been
thank you.
awesome, of course. And thank you to everyone who watched this. There'll be a link for Knockback, most recent song, down in the comments, as well as a link tree for all the social medias. Give them a follow. And fuck yeah, thank you all so much. Hope to see you on the next segment.
Good shit.